step 3 is 80% of the stuff you do isn't going to work. And for me, that was quite a bitter pill to swallow, because you kind of think that you have this idea that you kind of created and you think it's going to be some kind of revolutionary idea, but actually you have to understand that most of the stuff you do isn't going to work. So, and understanding 80% of the stuff you do isn't going to work, and understanding that and not getting kind of too upset that it's not working and it's just testing and refining. So that the good news is 20% of the stuff you do will work, and then it's using that. They talk about the 80-20 principle, so Pareto principle of the path of least resistance. So 80% of the stuff you do won't work, but focusing on the 20% of stuff that does work, and doubling down on that 20%. So focusing on what that 20% of your business is successful, and then essentially doing more of that and creating more value for other people. You have to kind of be an optimist in the long term. So you starting, especially an entrepreneurial business, which hasn't been something, you're doing something new that hasn't been tested before, is essentially quite risky in the short term, but in the long term. So it's never been a better time to start your own business. It's never been a better time to create your own product or service that you're going to offer to the market. So many people today are kind of scared to start your own business, but it's the biggest opportunity, kind of what I call the arbitrage of knowledge, the biggest place where your time, energy and effort you can put into that. If it's, that might be on the weekend, that might be after you finish work. It's the biggest upside to essentially unlimited value. If you create a business, think of Facebook that's just started in someone's dorm room, Mark Zuckerberg's dorm room, and the upside of that is massive. So today your biggest opportunity is starting your own business. So coming back to point 3, but 20% of the things you do will work, but then again 80% of the things you do won't work. And it's understanding that as an entrepreneur, you've got to kind of almost take that hit, take the pain of it not working all the time. And it's about testing and refining and taking what does work and then kind of creating something better. So that is tip number 3. So building on what you've learned and what learning, and essentially you've got to kind of be pretty resilient and think of that kind of back to, like evolution of a business. So coming back to kind of the evolution of Darwin. So it's not the fittest that survive, it's the ones that it's going to change the most. And it's the same with a business. So changing it and adding value and kind of evolving over time. You can't always, the business that I thought I was making initially is kind of different to what the business that I am today. Like things happen, like coronavirus happened. And as an entrepreneur, you have to kind of have that mindset shift. And so my original plan for Money Tips was to get people into a room and teach them how to invest. But obviously things like coronavirus means that things are always not going to work out. So having that kind of mental